Good evening, everyone, and happy Easter to those who are celebrating, and to those who are not celebrating Easter, well, happy Watch Soup Sunday to all. I am joined by my co-host Sanjay from the Engineer Wannabe channel. Sanjay, how are you, man? And let me know what you're wearing. I think I know what you're wearing on wrist, but let me know.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Had a good day today. Went out with the kids and family to a park and a railway track, hoping that a train would come by to get some pictures with my wristwatch check, which is my Railmaster. I did
Excellent.
a I did a live stream yesterday, and a lot of people were saying I would flip this in about 3 months. So
Really?
yeah, yeah. Thanks for the vote of confidence, guys.
That's interesting. I mean, I mean, look, I mean, I think you kind of set it up a little bit because you're talking about the size and the lug to lug and how you're going to try to make it work. And I think maybe that's why some people
Yeah, yeah,
might be saying that. I know you want to make it work for sure.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, man. I mean, okay.
Yep.
If you end up flipping it, so what, right? You
Yeah.
know?
Hey, they might be right. So who knows?
Yeah, right. Um, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get a picture from something that is going to be relevant a little bit later.
Yeah.
Um,
How was your weekend?
my week. Well, thanks for asking. Yeah, my weekend was great. The weather was great. Um, went to the playground with the kids yesterday. Went to the playground with the kids today. We sat outside and had some pizza. You know what I mean? And it was great, man. I mean, it was just a perfect day. And
Mm.
you know, couldn't ask for a better day. I'm wearing my evening watch, my
Right.
Jaeger and Benzinger.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this is one of my favorite parts right here. I mean, hopefully when I do the review, I'll do it. I'll do it some justice, of course. So
Yeah.
before we get started, let's go down and say hello to the chat. Oil Money Watches is first. How you doing, Oil Money? Clocks and Glocks, what's up? Bruce, hey, how you doing? Peter, how are you? Yeah, happy Easter to you as well. Wilson, what's going on, man? AZ Clayton, hey, buddy. Um, I picked up AZ Clayton. I picked up the rubber strap for my U50, so that hopefully will come in the mail at the end of the week. Rock the watch. What's up, man? Daniel, how are you? Roar of the Tiger. What's up, man? Keith E. Let us know what you guys are wearing on wrist too, and we'll highlight it. Chaz from the Berg, Rich Ross. What's up, man? Movie. Wait, just hold on with the movie. Just hold on with the movie, okay? Just we got maybe something at the end of the show. Desk Diver, how are you? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
Uh, Jeff Reynolds, what's up? Mr. Casio, hello. How are you? Let's see here. Kevin S, my man, how are you? Hey, Thomas, good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Eric, how are you, man? MTB, Mike, what's going on? Joe, how are you? Um, our
The usual
friend
gang
Joe.
here.
Who's that?
The usual gang.
The Usual Gang. I love the Usual Gang, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it's awesome. Nick J, what's up? And yeah. Oh, hey, Rick. Hey, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming by. Anyway, so let's go through our first segment. Um, let me get the banner up. Yay, the banner. Let's do our comments of the week. Let me see if I could share this. Um, of course, it doesn't come up when I want it to. But bear with me. Just a couple of comments. We did have some fun last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know,
That
uh,
was
especially at the end of the stream for sure. Let's see here. I think I got it now. Boo. Do 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 do. And Penny commented, caught this on replay. Hilarious. I think Sanjay should just randomly yell at movies he has seen from henceforth. Uh, Penny, we are encouraging Sanjay to do that. Next, Matthew is saying that was so much fun. Thank you. And Sanjay, don't feel bad. I haven't seen any of the movies either. So, you're getting a lot of support there, Sanjay.
Yeah,
People understand, people get it.
yeah, yeah. And it's okay if you want to make fun of me because that's a lot of fun too.
Yeah, yeah. That was good. I had to tell you, Mrs. Legs and I saw the ending of that of that stream. After it happened, and I laughed just as hard, I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
I pulled up the replay for my wife, and we were both just bawling, just
yeah,
laughing.
it was good times. Okay, so let's jump into reviews. And you had a couple that you wanted to. This is your segment, so how do you want to start?
Yeah, let's start with the Kudoki watch watches that Jenny L reviewed beginning of the week or end of the week if you guys consider Sunday to be the end. But she reviewed the Kudoki watches, and the reason I know them is because of Josie, and I was really impressed to see all the macro footage, beautifully done. I learned a couple of things. I didn't know that the movement was frosted by hand and hand engraved, and there's a lot of work put into it. And I think she said it cost uh, eight 8,000 odd euro for the
Hmm.
Kodoki 2, and I'm impressed at that valuation. Um, and the really interesting one was the Kudoctopus, the Kudoki watch, 42 millimeters, 52 lug to lug, impossible for me to wear. But oh man, that thing is something else. I think it was plated. The octopus itself is plated with three metals, all hand done, hand engraved, hand decorated. Beautiful skeletonized watch, and I would love to see it in person one day. And turns out, Rob, you've seen it.
Yeah, I have seen it. I'm having trouble emailing. So a year and a half ago, December of less than a year and a half, but in December of 2019, I went to a Watch Buys roadshow, and there was a couple of watches that I wanted to see. I wanted to see specifically Dorn Blues. I did want to see the Kadoki 2. This is when the Kadoki 2, still a little, still pricey, but more affordable than it is today,
Yeah.
was available, and just beautiful watches. And I saw, I'm going to show it. Hopefully, it comes up in the camera. I have it right here. The I have a video of this, the Kadoctopus, and it was wild, man.
Yeah.
There was some wild stuff. The finishing, um, the imagination, right? To do this. Look, I mean, I couldn't tell the time. You know what I mean? The hands are the brigade style, and I guess when I'm looking at the picture now, it might be a little bit different in person, but like from here, I could, I don't know what time it is. I mean, but at this point, does it really matter? I mean, this is it's almost like a piece of art that you're wearing, right?
It is. It is
Um,
a piece of art.
so his stuff is great, man. His
Hmm.
stuff is great, and I just feel like it's for my means, it's kind of like I'm missing the window to get one.
Yeah.
Um, I could save and do it, but it might take me a while, and or not. I don't know, and maybe not. But there's still a lot of great watches out there, right?
Mhm.
And this may be one of the ones that just got away, But who knows? Maybe one day I can pick one up.
Yeah.
Um, because right, Kentucky's prices have skyrocketed, and rightfully so. I mean, when he becomes an ACHI member, so there's like a special group of watchmakers
Hmm.
um, out there, and you're when you're included in this group. I mean, that's like the highest achievement, or one of the highest achievements, I guess. Um, but yeah, great two watches that she reviewed.
Yeah.
Uh, and the footage is great. Jenny does a good job. Whoever does her editing and filming, and maybe she does it. I don't know, or husband. But good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Next up was the Hodinkee Cross Grand Seiko SBGM 239. This was the limited edition Grand Seiko that Hodinkee put out. Blue dial, very similar to a very popular Grand Seiko, or it's almost identical to a very popular Grand Seiko, the SPG M221, which I have owned as well. And this review, of course, I forgot to mention, was done by Brandon Menancio.
Hmm.
And he did a great job. Um, and yeah, a couple of things that he I think he failed to mention was the fact that the bracelet is brushed and the whole case of the watch is polished. So there's a huge disconnect
Oh,
on this watch. At least that's something I noticed, and he didn't mention. So I kind of wanted to point that out.
yeah.
But yeah, I thought again, great footage of the watch. He actually had the SPGM 221. It's his personal watch, and so he held it side by side, and there were some differences, some interesting differences, and yeah, I know you didn't get a chance to
Yeah, no, I didn't get a chance to see this one.
yeah, but it was a good review. So if you guys
Mhm.
want to check that out, that's a great one out there. Have you ever seen the SPGM 221?
In person, no,
No,
no. Other than the snowflake, I haven't seen any other in person.
right?
You know,
Yeah,
I just don't know a lot of people um, that I have access to. In my circle, that I can actually visit and see that actually have Grand Seiko.
yeah,
You know, I think that's changing though. I think Grand Seiko is definitely on more people's radar.
yeah,
They're definitely marketing themselves out there, and I know more people know about them. I know more people that I know that are not part of this watch enthusiast community. I know they're picking up on Grand Seiko now, so
yeah,
it's trickling down to them. So
yeah,
hopefully I'll get to see more.
yeah. And yeah, I was gonna mention, but Colin already commented as well. It's his favorite Grand Seiko. I know he's mentioned that a couple of times in your streams.
Yeah.
Beautiful watch, the SPGM 221. I used to own it, um, and it was my son's favorite watch.
Ah.
And last up for the reviews was the Zenith A384 Revival Shadow.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this was Teddy's review of the A384 Shadow. It came at a very funny time because it was right when I was having a bit of a crisis, when I really wanted an A384, and I was considering flipping one of my Grand Seikos for the A384, and then Teddy puts this video out, which didn't help. But I kind of rode that storm. But beautiful watch,
Hmm.
titanium Zenith El Primero movement. Um, Bead blasted, which is not normal because there's a lot of polished and brushed finishes, but the
Hmm.
whole case is bead blasted here. Very light, has a really nice Cordura strap with a rubber back, and yeah, it's a beautiful watch. Really stealthy, but legible. Usually, when watchmakers go stealthy, it kind of sacrifices the legibility,
Yeah.
kind of like the Omega.
Hmm. That new release.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So here, I think Zenit knocked it out of the park, and I've really been, enamored by these A384, A385 releases. So that would be the last review for the week.
Yeah. No. Beautiful watch. I still like the your first uh your first choice.
Yeah, the
The
regular.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I prefer that. I like I like when they reissue vintage like as close as the original as possible. That really gets me. So that would be my choice as well.
yeah,
Uh, Daniel, yeah. Next time I get into Manhattan, I'll definitely go check out Grand Seiko and try some on. I mean, why not? What's up, Jyoti? How you doing? Keep hearing horror stories about LVMH service. Keeps me away from Zenith for that reason. Okay.
hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything, but I mean, I'll take your word for it. It they the Primero is an expensive watch to service for sure, and rightfully so. It's highly complicated movement.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's move on. And hey, we're gonna start with Watch Chris had a video of why you should stop buying cheap watches and three reasons not to buy microbrands and affordable watches. Now, he just to give you a little bit of backdrop, he did do a video before this about reasons why you should excuse me, by Microbrands. So he was just taking the other side, and he made some fairly good points depending on how you look at it. And so these points may not always apply to everybody, but his first argument was that resale values aren't great, and he said that if you're the kind of collector who gets maybe a 10 watch collection and buys affordable micro brands from, let's say, a $300 to $500 range. Well, with that money, you could have gotten yourself a really nice one watch, like an Omega Seamaster. He uses an example. That being that if you're, maybe you want to collect affordables, but he was just bringing that point out. And he was also saying that if you spent 300, 500 bucks back on a micro, the problem is with that is that the resale value is not going to be good. You're not going to get what you bought it for back, right? Whereas a Seamaster, it's a classic, iconic watch, may retain its value a whole lot better. So I think this is where I kind of fell in initially when I got back into collecting watches. I started collecting a lot of affordable watches, which is great. I had a great. If somebody came and told me that your collecting would be totally different in a year or two, and that save your money and really get the nice watches that you already have without going through the pain of getting into affordables, selling them and losing money, I probably still would have made the same mistake because I still needed to get there. Do you know what I mean? I still
Mhm.
needed to have those growing pains. So even if somebody came and told me this, even if I saw this video 2 years ago, I probably still wouldn't have registered to me.
Mhm.
Um, he also brings up as a second point is that the quality is not the same. Affordable versus luxury, you're going to see a big difference between a $500 watch and a $5,000 watch. Now, the difference may not be huge, but it may not be 10 times better from a
Mhm.
$500 watch, which is to a $5,000 watch, which is 10 times more than a $500 watch. But you'll notice a big difference. And then he also mentions heritage. You get some heritage with the luxury known name. Known name watches, as opposed to maybe some of these micro brands where you don't have that, and then that would affect other things like resale value and whatnot. So kind of things that that I already know, but it's good to hear it again and again because I do have goals, right? Like, let's say a Kadoki, but then I do get distracted by some great affordable watches, because they're fun. And he also mentions that, at the end that, why, a good reason why to collect affordable watches is because they're fun, because
Yeah.
they're fun to have. Um, what did you think about the video, Sanjay?
Yeah, I thought it was a good video. I uh, didn't agree entirely. I know Chris is here.
Oh,
So, hey
hey,
Chris,
Chris.
I like your channel. But I didn't completely agree.
Hmm.
I 100% agreed with the heritage aspect. That's really important to me. Heritage is really cool. Like he mentioned how these watches were in the wars. Like
Yeah.
Omega and Rolex, and I'll add Hamilton. That's a huge draw for me to Hamilton because they were, like in the trenches, not literally, not in the First World War, but they were in there, and helping missions get done, keeping things going. So, so yeah, I totally agree with that, and I agree with the fact that the resale value is not great, and yeah, so I know firsthand because when I'm trying to sell a watch online and someone offers a trade in one of, say, the Facebook groups that I'm in, and they offer me a microbrand watch, usually I'm like, I'm not really into microbrands, and I could see that person is trying to offload that watch, and it's getting a bit difficult. So I've kind of seen that not firsthand, but third hand. I've kind of experienced that, seeing others trying to sell a microbrand, except for save a few like Zelos and Helios. Those things do sell pretty easily. Um, And um, I think I'm trying to remember the second point.
The
Do you,
second point was quality is not the same.
right, right. So yeah, I at that point I was like, well, yeah, of course it's not, right.
Yeah.
We are with anything, we have diminishing returns. There's a curve, there's a sweet spot. I think Oris hit that sweet spot a couple of years ago, and now they've gone into that diminishing returns section again, where the value for money versus the quality of the product you get starts to exponentially decrease.
Hmm.
And so when you hit omega, that's absolutely true. You're hitting the flat line, and once you get to say Alang and Zona, you're at the point where
Well said. Well, you pronounced that pretty good. Way better than I can pronounce it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm
sorry.
impressed. Very good.
Yeah, so when you get to that point, then you have to really start to rationalize it, right? There's
Yeah.
all these handcrafted things going in. You're buying the man hours. You're not buying value. You're buying
Mm,
art,
yeah.
and you're at that flat line at that point. You're paying for art, and I guess I shouldn't have said I disagreed, but I agreed. And a good thing to note is that he mentioned that he has made videos
Yeah.
in the past saying it's better to buy microbrands than to buy. Uh, Established brands, or reasons why it's better to buy microbrands.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, and he mentions that you get a whole lot of bang for your buck,
yeah.
with that, and I totally agree, and I agree with Kevin here. I mean, Kevin, he's Chris. I don't think there was no judgment coming out of Chris. I mean, he was just basically stating some facts, and he has
Mhm.
he was just telling you pros and cons, and he has microbrands, plenty of microbrands in his and affordables in his collection.
Yes.
Um, James, I think buying affordables helped me figure out my taste and hedge my bets when I went up market. James, exactly. That was my exact point before with me. I had to do that. I had to go through that process. And like I said, if I had seen this video 2 years ago, it would have been in the back of my mind, but it wouldn't have helped me in a sense that I still needed to go through this process. You know what I mean? Um, and then I would have looked back. And I'm like, oh, I should have listened to Chris's video. Of course, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
it happened with me too. So I kind
yeah,
of needed that learning process. You got to take those baby steps, and I wouldn't trade it. Like the reason I know what I know right now is because I took those baby steps, buying those little brands, buying those Seikos, that plummeted in value,
yeah.
and making those mistakes. So
Yeah, it seems like calm as well. Same boat. We stay in the affordable range. Some of us longer than others. Some of us will always stay there, and that's fine.
mhm.
Um, it's not necessarily affordability per se. It's like maybe you place importance in other things like experiences over objects. You know what I mean? So, um, we all have our reasons.
Yeah.
AZ claims I stick mostly to pre-owned until you know what your style is. If you purchase it right, you can have a minimal flippers tax. Very good point. Great point there. Uh, Rick, micro watches the gateway drug. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Especially when you can get so much bang for your buck. It's hard. It's hard. At the end of the day, we all want to get the maximum for what we spend, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes you get that with micros. And it's okay. It's okay. And I'm speaking for myself, right? I'm thinking out loud. It's okay to have a collection with luxury watches and micros and affordables and whatnot. It's okay. We collect how we collect. There's no roadmap, right? Everybody goes their own path, right?
Everyone has different values, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I value heritage, but someone else might not couldn't care less about heritage. So for that person, microbrands are a godsend, because
Yeah.
who cares about heritage?
Right.
Go to microbrands.
Right. Right.
You'll like go for Monta. You'll get a Rolex quality watch. Supposedly, I've never held a Monta, but you'll get a Rolex quality watch at a tenth of the price, and you don't have to pay for that heritage and
Yeah.
marketing.
Yep.
So
Absolutely. Uh, Crystals, micros, collect both. Exactly. Yeah, why not? Um, Wilson Sanjay is making good business on value add, etc. That's a sign of a great engineer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Just catching up with the chat here. Um, Jyoti saying it all depends on the perspective of the collector. I went from 16 watches to 5, a Nabi sub, SMP 300, a GS, and an Alpinist last year. I think I made the right choice, but many probably wouldn't do it. Sounds like a good choice to me too, though. Um, okay, I read that. Sorry. Rock the Watch Honda Accords are mechanically superior and offer more value for the money than a Lamborghini, but now one is hyping the Honda, but no one's hyping the Honda, right? Hey, we have a Honda Civic, man, and in the family, and that's a great car. You get a lot of bang for your buck with that car, and that thing is we got 150,000 miles on it, and it's still going.
Yeah.
Not more than that. Nah. James, I'm a habitual impulse buyer and I regret the affordables more than the expensive watches, but I think the latter does not happen without the former. Yep. Yeah, seems like we're all in the same boat here, guys. Colin is not agreeing. Monta is not as good as Rolex. I knew when you said that, Sanjay. I knew Colin was going to say comment. But I get your point.
That's what I've heard. I've never held a Monta, so I can't really give you a firsthand thing there.
Okay, so let's jump to our next topic of the night. This is a topic you selected, and this is Paul Thorpe, the watch dealer, biggest Rolex scam in history, and why I almost didn't tell you about it. Okay, tell us about this.
Yeah, this was a real downer of a video. I did not expect it. I did not expect it when I went in because I thought, okay, let's see what this new scam is, right? That may be a good thing to talk about on Watch Soup. That's a good one, Oil Money. So yeah, so basically the story goes, for a couple of years, it seems like there's been someone who's been threatening Paul Thorpe and his family online and even on the phone. Paul Thorpe has, said some scathing things about the police in England, frankly making me glad I live in Canada. And so he basically mentioned how he's been getting death threats from this particular individual. He has not been helped by the police. They've very graphically wanted to do real horrible things to his family members, and this is why he has not gone forward or been informing the public about these scams. So assuming this is someone who's really interconnected with the underground underworld, I should say. Assuming that this guy who's threatening him is into these scams. So he reached out to the police. The police really didn't help. They kind of brushed him off and basically, did the bare minimum to kind of get him off their back. And he kind of was imploring us as his viewers to go and send an email to Joe Shiner, I think was her name, who is the head of the Sussex Police Department. So
yeah.
Moving on to the scam is really interesting as well. And basically what the scam is that these individuals, they take on the identity of sales associates at Rolex boutiques, and they reach out to people who might be on the waiting list. They would spoof the number so that it appears like it's coming from the authorized dealer, and get them to send a wire transfer to them for the full amount of the watch, knowing that England is in lockdown, in a very strict lockdown, basically where they kind of have to accept all the money and wait until the watch can be picked up in person. So the scam is expected to not work out once the lockdown ends, but they are making use of all these technologies to try and dupe individuals into giving them the money, thinking that it's going to the AD. So very, very interesting video. A bit of a huge downer of a video.
Yeah.
But,
So working backwards, so in regards to the scam, I don't doubt that this is happening.
Hmm.
I just felt like it was interesting. His piece of advice was like, don't do anything, ignore whatever.
Right.
Um, I think I would have said, if you get one of these, if you're waiting for one of these calls, which is interesting how these scammers would know that these people are waiting, they're on the list for something, right?
Hmm.
My piece of advice would have been like, respond back saying, okay, let me call you back at the AD to get more information and to send the wire. That way, I mean, if you don't know if it is a scam or not, at least you're verifying it that way. By you said, okay, I'm going to call you back at the AD, and then we'll work this out, because then you would find out. You would call the AD and you would find out if it was a scam. If they're saying, "Oh no, we didn't call you," and then therefore, so like that was maybe he didn't think of that, or maybe I have it wrong. And anyway, so but I agree with some of the people on the chat, like, in the beginning, like, it is like such doom and gloom with this guy. So when his channel first came out, okay, I thought it was just interesting. English guy with tats, who was a former Rolex dealer, watch dealer. This has got to be good, right? And it's just like there's just too much. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe, I don't follow him enough, so I don't know. But it just seems like, this guy's always got a black cloud following him somewhere. And
Yeah.
and you had mentioned his relation with the underworld, or something like that, or to that effect. I don't know if I understood you correctly, but I mean, I think I've heard that he had connections, unsavory characters. Like, this is what happens. This is what happens when you are attach yourself, if this is true. I'm just speculating, but I've heard things with, like, unsavory characters, man. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get
I
shit's gonna
didn't.
happen to you.
I didn't mention that Paul Thorpe was part of the underworld. Um, I've heard of some things, but I've never really taken them at face value because, they've been rumors. I've heard his son is a part of the underworld, so
Right.
his son has been in prison and so on and so forth. But he himself, he has shunned the actions like publicly. I remember seeing a video a couple either last year or a year or two ago, how he publicly shunned his son for being a part of this this criminal organization, and so he has no connection with his son supposedly. But yeah, other than that, I'm not sure of
Mhm.
any actual.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have it right or not, but I mean, like, anyway, it just seems like there's always something going on with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That there's always, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
It is kind of doom and gloom, I guess, and I kind of get it. He's the only guy kind of sounding the alarm.
right.
So if you're the only guy sounding the alarm, um, it's going to end up sounding like you're the downer, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it might be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. It could be like the boy who cried wolf. People will just stop, get get accustomed to hearing all these doom and gloom stuff, and then not even think about it anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
All right, let's
unfortunate.
move on. Let's move on. I don't know what to say. I mean, speaking about another guy, I don't know what to say about. Uh, Next one is I picked is the I picked this one, Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary shots for affordable watches. Ask Mr. Wonderful. And this was another Teddy video. I don't know what to make of this, man. I don't know what to make of Kevin O'Leary. I mean, I just wish he would stop doing watch content
Yeah.
with Teddy. Um, the whole premise was, um, Teddy was going to show them, like, some affordable watches, or watches, that are great bang for your buck, that, you don't have to spend 5-6 figures on. And Teddy had some good examples, right? I mean, Teddy did his part, and
Hmm.
then like, it was almost like Kevin O'Leary couldn't believe that you can buy a watch for under
$500.
Well, 500, or yeah, I mean, I was gonna exaggerate, but right, 500, but for like $10,000. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I know it was 500, but I mean, come on, man. I mean, like, and everything. I feel like everything that's out of his mouth. I get it. You're a finance guy. You're a stock market. You make you're businessman. You're on Shark Tank. Everything's an investment. But come on, man. I mean, like, enough. Can we just stop him from doing watch content on YouTube? Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, he's playing up to character. Okay, there's plenty of guys. I'd rather watch Archie Luxury. I gotta be honest with you. I'd rather watch Archie Luxury. You know, I don't care if he's a character. I don't care if it's in a character. I knew I knew I was gonna be like dumbfounded by this. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to say anything. And then yeah, and Collins here talk about Mr. Wonderful getting Bear Clooney's video taken down. Apparently, Bear did a video reacting to this video with Kevin O'Leary and Teddy and having harsh words for Kevin. And I saw this video before I saw the Kevin O'Leary video.
Okay.
And so apparently he had it Kevin O'Leary's people whatever had it taken down, and I think Bear was able to get around it by taking out a word or two here
Yeah,
to get it published. Yeah, I don't know. I know you like Kevin O'Leary, Sanjay.
Yeah. I don't exactly know which was that the video about the oyster flex that Bear was talking about, or was there a different video that came back up? Because
no, I think it was about the affordable watches. I think it was
Okay.
about the video he just did with Teddy on Kevin O'Leary's channel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't I didn't see that video that Bear did. So I'm not entirely sure what Bear had said. I'm pretty sure Wilson said he's playing up a character, and yeah, I think he is, and it's really easy. I think to, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure when he brought out the Rainbow Daytona, he was kind of joking around there, right?
Yeah, I guess. I just didn't find it funny. Kevin
Yeah.
S. Jar Jar Binks was also a character, but nobody wants him back. Sanjay, can you name the movie that Jar Jar Binks is from, or the series of movies?
Star Wars.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah, all right.
The
Okay.
prequels, right?
Yeah, good.
1, 2, and 3.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I was gonna say something else, but maybe I won't start up another storm.
Oh no, we're gonna start the storm. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I like his character. I don't know what it is about him. Maybe it's because I just laugh or I just cry laughing when he's on Shark Tank, and so now seeing him with watches, I kind of connect the two, and because of that, maybe that's why I like. I like watches. I find it hilarious when he calls it his collection, and
He's gonna go to the maison.
Yeah, calling Grand Seiko a maison. I thought that was hilarious. I mean, at that point, I think he's being serious. But I mean, in Shark Tank, he has the little boys club, right? That where they drink wine. I don't know if you've heard of this one, but he has a little necklace with a little wine glass, and they give you special wine, and you drink it. And he calls it his Chevalier de Testament. It just cracks me up. I'm sure I can see how people won't like it, but
Yeah, I guess. Look, I guess I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. I just don't get it. I just I that kind of like character or personality does not appeal to me. I used to work in finance. I've seen that kind of characteristic or characters before, and it's just that's why I'm no longer in finance. Well, one of the reasons why I'm no longer in finance, but it's just like not the vibe or energy, even if it's a character or not, man. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I can see that. I've never been exposed to any of that, so to me, it's all a joke. All of it is a joke to me, but to someone who's been in the facing that kind of person, I can totally see how that could be not pleasant at all.
Colin says, I think Canadians are more tolerant of Kevin O'Leary just because he did the stick in Canada and then brought it to the U.S. and was successful with it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was listening to the Watch Lounge earlier, and Chris had Clive and Amin on, and Amin brought up a good point. When Kevin Leary was talking about Grand Seiko, and it was like, oh, you can get Patek finish quality with Grand Seiko, but for a fraction of the price. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I remember when he said that, and hearing that comment, I was like, I'm like, okay,
Yeah, I cringed a little at that too. I was like,
okay,
that's and you could totally tell, like in this video, I forgot to mention, you could totally tell that he does not know very much about watches. Like
yeah.
there was a couple of things where Teddy was talking, and you could tell he's not listening. You
No,
know,
I know.
he was like Teddy would say something really simple, and he'd be like, "You're kidding." I
Yeah,
was like, "Wait, what?"
yeah,
That wasn't so groundbreaking, right?
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
I can't think of an example right now, but there was a
but
couple of
but it
things where I was,
but it was like things like like I don't know if he was like if it was like a real reaction, if it was fake or not. Like when Teddy was showing him some of the affordable Seikos and the dials, and he's like, "That's a beautiful dial." Like is that even real? Like his reaction, like, or was he just like being like condescending? Like I can't tell. With I guess I just don't know him enough. So it's just like, uh,
he when he mentioned that dial, the green dial on the Grand Seiko, he mentioned, or sorry, the Seiko, he asked if this was hand painted like the Grand Seikos, or
yeah,
something along those lines. But yeah, not even the Grand Seikos are hand painted. So yeah, just kind of seeing the holes in his watch knowledge, and it's not like he appears to know. It's not like he's pretending to know everything. It's just that when he talks as an authority, it kind of rubs people the wrong way. And I could see, if I had no previous connection or previous attachment to Kevin O'Leary, I could have been rubbed the wrong way when he said some of those things. But yeah, overall,
yeah,
I enjoyed the video.
yeah.
uh,
Colin is saying anybody in the chat would buy exactly the same watches as O'Leary if they had access to. I don't know. I mean, we might have, but it'd be for different reasons, right? I mean, like whether he's serious or not, O'Leary did bring up the fact that he bought that $150,000 Rainbow Daytona, and he was like basically bragging that it's worth 3 times more than that. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And it made it seem like that's the reason why he bought it, right?
yeah,
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe, but it made it seem to me, and maybe I read it wrong, but that's the reason why he bought it, that he was buying the watch as an investment. And we keep that kind of stuff in our minds when we buy things, because of course we don't want to lose money if we have to sell in a pinch. But for most of us who are into this hobby, and I'm sorry, I'll speak for myself. For me, I don't think about that. I don't think about that, because that's just another space in my brain that needs to be occupied with that kind of stuff all the time, and I really need to free that up for other productive things.
mhm.
So yes, I would probably buy all the same watches that he had in his collection, but I would do it for a completely different reason. Knife Watch, my buddy, what's up, man? Thank you for the super chat. O'Leary is all of us if we got into collecting after we were already rich. If he were smart, he'd be watching this live stream for a real scoop. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Ryan.
I had Ryan on a stream in my early days, and we
Oh
were
yeah,
talking about knives and how similar um, watch collecting and knife collecting was. It was a good one.
you guys should check his channel. He has the best voice on YouTube, hands
He
down.
does, man. I told him I told him he should do streams, and I think he was doing like um, Instagram live Instagram stuff. But I wish he would do some streams.
Yeah.
Maybe he is. I don't know. I subscribed to his channel. Um, Amin, I would not buy the same watch as O'Leary had if he had the money. That's true. I know. We know Amin.
Same
Amin
here.
is his own collector, man. Amin is his own collector. You know,
Toxicologist.
Amin, you don't count. Oh man. Uh, I'll get some more streams with you guys for you guys. Yeah, man. And then Sanjay and I will
Yeah,
come on your streams, man. If you want us to come on, of course.
that would be so much
You don't need us, but I mean that'd be with your voice, your soothing, awesome voice.
fun.
It is a great voice though. Okay, so let's move on to your selection, the Hodinkee, the Rolex Submariner, the new Rolex, the 41 millimeter
Yeah.
on wrist this week. Tell us about that, Sanjay.
Yeah, I found this video just so cringeworthy that I was wanted to crawl under the covers and just you know turn into the fetal position and rock myself to sleep. It was just it was really
Really?
yeah, it was really cringeworthy for me. We were kind of talking about this during one of our chats in the Super Best Watch Friends Club on Discord. Um, Amin had read the review and I had watched the video. So I mean, it was a good review, very well informed review. But there was a few scenes, that were completely unnecessary. So there was a scene where he was pretending to call his friend,
Yeah.
and clearly, like they weren't even good actors. So
No,
they
they
were
weren't. That's true.
pretending to talk to the guy, and he's like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in my apartment. It
Yeah.
wasn't that bad, but it was pretty bad.
It
And
was
then
it was a shameless plug of
for the
Hodinkee
insurance, right?
insurance. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. Because you see the guy come down and take a look at the watch, and they plaster his name, head
Yeah.
of insurance or whatever his.
Insurance advocate for
Yes, there
Hodinkee.
you
That's
go.
what it was.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, I see what's going on here." But it was really bad,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was the reason why I wanted to bring this up, because I thought maybe we can talk about that skid. Um, but yeah, I mean, it kind of sucked that they were wearing masks, because I wish I could have seen like the full facial expressions, because man, that would have been even more cringeworthy, like in an enjoyable way.
Yeah.
They were sitting there at this pizzeria, eating a pizza, and trying to stay socially distanced, but then
Hmm.
he grabs the watch and sticks it on the wrist, and yeah, it was all a bit funny.
And he
Um,
was a little guy. He had like 3 slices in there. You saw that? He had like a little mini box and one big, really New York pizza, and he had
yeah,
one with pepperoni and whatnot. Like, there's no way this guy eats that many slices. Well, maybe like him walking around all day with the Rolex Submariner on his hand. Yeah. I mean, if you take that away from it, right? The hokiness of the Hodinkee, um, tie-in. It was fair. I mean, it's
yeah.
like it's different than like my reviews where you just see my hands and now with gloves, doing a review. It's well done. It's entertaining in a sense. Um, they the watch has been out for almost like a year, so
Yeah.
um,
I don't
right.
know
I
if you
mean,
noticed, this watch was like really well used. It had scuffs and
I saw that on the bracelet. Yeah.
yeah, on the side of the watch too, near body
Uh-huh.
section. It had like lines on it. So I thought that was interesting. So
Philip, I just appreciate greatness. I'm like Amin, uh, father and son going at it on the chat.
if I called my dad by his first name, he would slap me.
Yeah. I agree with Sanjay. The sub video is effing terrible. For those new to the channel, that was Sanjay's critical meter check to 11. Look, I mean, Sanjay's a really nice guy. And on top of that, he's Canadian. So, like, there's a rep of being like, just Nice guys, except for like when you get like a hockey stick and skates on them, then they turn it up a notch. They go to 12.
Yeah, I don't.
Uh, Penny said, guys, I bought the Hodinkee insurance. I'm not a fan of them, but it was a good coverage. Okay, that's good to know, Penny. I mean, like, I wasn't sure if anybody I knew had that. I think I even actually heard you mention that somewhere else, or if I saw it on the on the stream. I just slapped uh, uh,
That's good.
Bobby saying, Sanjay, you didn't like the Hodinkee guy wearing a scarf in the weather where a yacht passes by in the background in the first 30 seconds. Feels like a try Hodinkee video. Yeah. Yeah, it's like those movies where they're supposed to be like in the winter, but you don't see any like smoke coming out and they're like fully dressed and it's like summertime.
Yeah,
Like, come on, man. Come on. Who are you fooling, man? Who are you fooling?
yeah.
But in general, like I said, I thought it was a it wasn't that bad. Let's see here. Okay. Uh,
Did you guys know that um, that place in Scotland is actually a big amplifier? You know, uh, it's a Spinal Tap reference. I haven't actually
oh,
watched Spinal Tap.
okay. Here we go. Okay. Guys on the chat, please. AZ Clayton has brought it up. Okay. Time for movie trivia with Sanjay. So if you guys can put any references, movie quotes, we'll see that if Sanjay knows what movie. If you want to ask him what movies he has watched, here's your time.
I'm ready.
Spinal Tap reference, which Sanjay did not get.
I think
Okay. So I'm waiting for some of that stuff to come up. So we'll put a rest to all the topics. And okay, Daniel, you say hello to my little friend.
Scarface.
Oh,
I haven't watched it though.
you haven't. So how do you know this? Well, I mean, it's a famous line, right? I
Yeah.
mean, uh, okay, all right. Plot of Tootsie. Okay,
Uh, yeah. I don't know. How many licks does it take to get to the middle of a Tootsie Roll?
that's a Tootsie Roll. Has nothing to do with. Okay, all right. Let's go on. Oh, wait, some banter with. At least you don't have Daniel Jones as your quarterback. Oh, okay. All right, so that's I think a dig on Amon being a Giant fan that Mr. Casio is making. Um, lunch is for wimps. I don't know
Got
if I know.
nothing on that one.
I don't know. Sanjay, how do you feel about Caligula?
Is that like a Roman? Wait, is that Shakespeare? Or Roman emperor, right? Caligula.
There was a Roman emperor named Caligula,
Okay.
and there was a movie made that was very very graphic.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Got nothing.
all right. I'm just gonna go down the list here. I don't even know what's coming. So I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me. What movie?
Got nothing. Do you know, Rob? Or
I don't think I know that one. Look, I mean, I've seen a lot of movies. I'm not no movie expert, so some of these may be going past me. These are not the joys we are looking for. You're looking for.
Qui-Gon
Who?
in Phantom of the Menace? Phantom of Menace? The first Star Wars movie.
This is the Star Wars reference. Okay, yeah, yeah. We'll just.
Sorry.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Forrest Gump.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's easy.
This is so Joe. Jack, I want you to draw me like one of your French girls.
Titanic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Titanic. You got it. Did you see Titanic?
No. I've seen documentaries.
You've seen documentaries. Okay. Uh, okay. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
No, got nothing.
Okay. That
I've heard
a
it
few good
before.
a few good men.
Okay.
We're gonna need a bigger boat. I know that movie. It's just what's the movie? Oh, what's the movie? I know this movie. I've seen this movie. I know this movie. Okay.
Yeah.
I may be just as bad as you, Sanjay. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. I think that came up last week.
Was it The Godfather?
Yeah, it's a Godfather reference. You have, but we know you haven't seen it. So,
No, I haven't seen it.
uh, uh, hey, oh no, I think I'm saying hello to Thomas. Okay, there's no.
Yeah.
Oh, another. Okay, you're out of your element, Donnie.
Got nothing. Not not one.
The Big Lebowski.
Oh, okay.
Have you
I
seen The Big Lebowski?
I've seen The Big Lebowski.
You've seen The Big Lebowski.
That's the cool guy, right? The dude or something,
The
right?
dude. Yes, the cool guy. Yes, the dude.
I could
Yeah, I
explain.
gotta agree with you, Rick. Sanjay's pretty good for not having seen any of these movies. He's definitely.
I remember quotes, just like how I remember reference numbers. So I'm Rain Man, if you didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. 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 This is kind of a trick question. Highlander. There can only be one. What movie?
Highlander?
Yes. All right. Okay.
I've I've seen the cartoon, but
Wait,
not
there's a cartoon?
yeah. There
Oh.
is.
Okay. Have you seen Jaws?
No.
Okay. No.
Was
Okay.
I've seen a scene where Samuel L. Jackson is giving this speech and then gets eaten. Is that Jaws? Was Samuel
No. No. Samuel Jackson was not in Jaws.
okay?
Samuel Jackson was not in Jaws.
What was that movie then?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think they made that movie.
Okay.
Coffee is for closers only. Well, coffee is for closers.
It's got to be a real estate movie. I guess.
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street. I don't
No. No. But it's Glenn Gallagher and Ross. But I mean,
know.
have you seen that movie? Because
No,
they are in real estate.
I've heard TGV talk about it, but
Okay.
yeah.
Was it Snakes on the Plane? Were you talking about with Mike? With Samuel Jackson?
Yeah, yeah. I have seen that movie actually.
Pay that man his money.
Nope.
Okay. I mean this. I mean it's Rounders. It's a with Matt Damon and Ed Norton. Funny Ed Norton. Sorry, you know who Ed Norton is, right?
Nope.
Okay. Have you seen him? American History X. No, why am I asking you movies? Have you seen movies? You almost got me. You almost got me. Okay. Phone home.
E.T.
All right.
E.T.
Have you seen E.T.?
Yes,
Okay.
seen E.T.
I feel the need for speed.
Uh, nope.
I think that's Top Gun, isn't it? I think that's Top Gun.
Okay.
Uh, is Samuel Jackson in Jaws? I choked on my coffee.
There was a movie with a shark, and Samuel L. Jackson got eaten. Is that a false memory? Is this like the Mandela effect or something?
If it's, I don't know. Don't let yourself get attached to anything you're not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner. Uh,
What's that from?
no, I hear my Mrs. Legs yelling out, Heat, the movie
Oh,
Heat.
okay.
Apparently, Mrs. Legs is playing along. And
Right.
she's beating you, by the way.
Deep Blue Sea and the Farron got it. See, there was a movie.
Adrian!
Rocky.
Okay.
I have not
Okay.
seen Rocky.
Trick question. First rule of Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Okay. Okay.
I have seen Fight Club.
Oh man, yeah, this looks good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. We've had a little fun at your expense, and thank you for
Oh,
playing along,
that
Sanjay.
was a lot of fun. It's got to be movie number 5, right? Empire Strikes Back. Is that Empire Strikes Back?
It's one of them. It's one of them. Yeah. I don't know why. Any Star Wars question? Like I just like. Okay, you said enough, Sanjay. You said a lot. You did really good today. I'm really impressed with you knowing movie quotes from movies that you've never seen before. That's pretty good. That means you're paying attention to people around you who are probably obnoxiously just shouting out movie quotes. So um, awesome job. Anyway, great job tonight, guys. Thank you, chat, for participating. We'll play this game until it just gets old. We'll
Yeah.
just keep on playing this game at the end. Sanjay, thanks again for doing this with me. I really, really appreciate your partnership in this. And I'll see you next week, man. Have a good week.
Yes, sir. You as well. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Always.
All right. Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.